All right, example 3. Whew. This is a little interesting. It's a little interesting for a couple of reasons. First of all, can you see that you're squaring inside and then you're square rooting? Okay? So let's do some mental math. Let's pick a big number. Give me a big number. 80. It's pretty big. Okay, quick mental math. Square that number. Got the answer? Now square root it. The answer you got, square root it. What did you get? Okay, try it again. Take 80, square it. Get your number here. Now this number here, square root it. What do you get? 80. Does it make sense that hold on, we can't give away the trick. Another big number, Anza. Well, see, you guys are actually doing like 80 squared, 6,400. 200 squared, it's 40,000. Give me push me. 1 million squared is just a million times a million. Just adds the zeros. It's like that's. Yes. 1,263,423. 1,263,423 squared. Got it? Then square root it, and you get the same thing you started with. Now, does that always happen? Your gut should probably say to me, yes, right? If you square it and then square root it, it should always come out to the number you started with. But it's not always true. See if you can figure out a number that if I square it and then square root it, I get something different than you started with. Something negative. Let's say we take -7. What's -7 squared? -7 times -7, positive 49. What's the square root of positive 49? Positive 7. Only. Why? Good question. So, take out your calculators. Type in the square root of 49. You get 7. Does your calculator ever give you -7? No. Okay? Here's an anomaly in math. If you had a number squared equal to 49, then to find out what x is, you would have to get rid of the squared. We know that getting rid of the squared means taking the square root of both sides. And you might remember your teachers in the past saying, when you take the square root of both sides, you have to write a plus or minus. Because the square root of 49 is only positive 7. Okay? In other words, the square root of any number squared, and this is how it's connected to our lesson today, is always that number in absolute value bars. So if it's positive, the square root of 3 squared would be 3. But if it's negative, the square root of -5 squared would be the absolute value of -5, which will be positive 5. Because we have a rule set so that our calculators don't mess up, that when you take the square root of anything, it's always a positive answer. So if we had the question that we have here is what is, okay, what is the answer to the square root of 7 minus 10 all squared? A lot of students will just say, oh, these cancel out, and just write 7 minus 10, but that would be wrong. It's they will cancel, but it'll be the absolute value of 7 minus 10. 7 minus 10 is negative 3. So the answer is positive 3. Because if you worked it out step by step, 7 minus 10 is negative 3. Negative 3 squared is positive 9. And then the square root of positive 9 is positive 3. So that's kind of interesting. Yes, okay? As a shortcut, they cancel each other out. And actually, I had a professor from university go through what is a list of number one mistakes that students have when they get to university in math. And this is one that came up on her list. Why? Because most people will say, well, square roots and squares, they're opposite of each other. They cancel each other out. And most things that cancel each other out don't have special rules. Okay? For example, take a medium-sized number. Theo, medium-sized number. 43. Ben, large number. Okay, 43 times 112, divide by 112. 43, right? Because, and there's no special rules, like if you multiply by a number and then divide by a number, there's no special like, oh, sometimes you have to do this. No. Most things that undo each other have no special rules. Right? Take 47, add 852, subtract 852. We're back at 47. Most things that are opposite of each other don't have a special rule. This one does. This one does because the square root of a number is always positive, and we can make the answer always positive by putting it in absolute value. Okay, circle the following questions. Numbers 6, 10, and 11. And I'll give you 5 minutes to try these questions and the ones from before.